after an FBI raid on an alleged illegal gambling operation in Wilder.
Dozens of people were detained in Idaho over the weekend as ICE joined an FBI raid on a horse arena.
FBI is conducting a court-authorized investigation.
Federal and state law enforcement have destroyed one of Idaho's largest underground gambling and horse racing networks after a massive FBI ICE raid at a property known as La Cathedral Horse Arena in Wilder Canyon County. The operation, carried out at dawn, marked the first major federal gambling takedown under the joint FBI-DHS enforcement framework in the state's history. Nearly 200 agents from the FBI ICE, Homeland Security Investigations, the Idaho State Police, and the Treasure Valley Metro Violent Crime and Gang Task Force participated in the raid. Officials say the early morning strike exposed an illegal betting empire disguised as weekend horse racing events, where hundreds gathered to gamble thousands of dollars in cash on unsanctioned races. The investigation revealed that the operation extended beyond betting. Agents uncovered evidence linking the arena to drug trafficking, weapons sales, and money laundering tied to transnational criminal proceeds. A federal search warrant, authorized in Boise after months of surveillance, allowed agents to move in during peak activity, ensuring maximum evidence collection and minimal risk to civilians. According to the FBI, the operation was months in the making. Agents had been tracking suspicious transactions through cash couriers and money transfers originating from Oregon and Idaho feed stores, which led to the La Cathedral Arena. What appeared to be an ordinary horse racing venue was, in reality, a fully functioning illegal gambling hub operating under the cover of family entertainment. Undercover investigators attended multiple events, documenting unlicensed betting tables, cash handoffs, and cartel-linked individuals exchanging envelopes near the stables. Intelligence gathered by the Department of Homeland Security confirmed that proceeds from the gambling ring were being laundered through local small businesses and funneled back to criminal networks operating along the U.S.-Mexico border. By late summer, the operation had expanded to include a multi-state task force authorized to move in on federal charges. At approximately 9 a.m. on Sunday, agents executed the raid while an active race was underway, attended by more than 400 spectators. Tactical teams surrounded the arena, sealed all exits, and entered the property with warrants in hand. Within minutes, the site was under full federal control. ICE and Homeland Security personnel established perimeter checkpoints to identify and process every person present, conducting immigration status verifications and criminal background screenings. Witnesses reported panic as officers moved through the bleachers and stables, detaining dozens for questioning. Horses were secured by animal control units, while detectives began cataloging cash, ledgers, and betting slips recovered from multiple locations around the facility. By the time the sun rose over Canyon County, the gambling operation was over, and Idaho's quiet agricultural heartland had become the latest front in the federal war on organized crime. By the afternoon following the raid, the FBI confirmed that 5 key suspects had been charged in U.S. District Court in Boise for operating an illegal gambling and money laundering enterprise. Among those named were Ivan Tellez, 37, of Wilder, Samuel Bejarano, 37, and Diana Fajardo, 39, of Nisa, Oregon, and Alejandro Estrada, 56, of Boole, Idaho. A 5th suspect was arrested a day later in connection to the same operation. Federal prosecutors said 2 of the defendants were lawful permanent residents, while the others were undocumented nationals with prior immigration and criminal histories. Evidence seized from the site included cash boxes containing more than $180,000, ledgers with coded entries matching narcotics transactions, and a handgun registered to a known cartel intermediary in Arizona. The defendants face multiple felony counts, including operating an illegal gambling business, conspiracy, unlicensed wagering, and money laundering, all of which carry penalties of up to 20 years in prison. The U.S. Attorney's Office stated that additional indictments may follow as forensic teams process the arena's electronic devices, including cell phones and security system data drives. In addition to the 5 defendants, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, confirmed the detention of 105 undocumented nationals who attended the event, none of whom were minors. According to Homeland Security, all detentions were carried out in full accordance with federal law and under child protection oversight. Each detainee was transported to temporary holding centers in Utah, Rigby, and Burley for fingerprinting, medical screening, and immigration processing. Many have since obtained legal counsel as deportation proceedings begin. Agents emphasized that these detentions were not random, but part of a broader investigation into transnational human smuggling and labor exploitation tied to the illegal racing network. Several detainees reportedly worked as handlers, grooms, or betting runners paid in cash and transported between races in unmarked vans. Homeland Security officials stated that their testimonies could become central to uncovering a wider network of illegal gambling rings operating across the Pacific Northwest. Idaho Governor Brad Little commended the joint operation, calling it a necessary step to dismantle criminal networks that exploit both people and animals for profit. His office issued a statement confirming that state authorities had supported federal partners in executing the search warrant and providing logistical support through the Idaho State Police and Department of Agriculture. The governor also reaffirmed the state's commitment to prosecuting crimes linked to cartel infiltration, animal cruelty, and narcotics laundering, adding that any operation using animal racing as cover for organized crime has no place in Idaho. Lawmakers in Boise praised the success of the mission, describing it as a model for state-federal cooperation against criminal enterprises that blur the line between local vice and international crime. Federal officials from both the FBI and DHS later confirmed that the La Catedral raid was part of a larger nationwide initiative to identify and dismantle illicit enterprises laundering cartel proceeds through animal racing venues. Investigators recovered multiple ledgers referencing cross-border money transfers and seized communications suggesting links to narcotics networks operating out of northern Mexico. Analysts believe the operation functioned as a financial hub for laundering proceeds from methamphetamine and fentanyl distribution through off-the-books gambling revenue. DHS sources described the arena as a perfect cover, cash-based, culturally insulated, and nearly invisible to regulators. In total, agents collected over 5 terabytes of digital evidence, including video surveillance footage and transaction logs. Officials say this data will support federal racketeering indictments under the RICO Act, targeting not just the local operators but their financiers abroad. The coordination between the FBI, ICE, DHS, and the Idaho State Police was hailed as one of the cleanest multi-agency operations in recent memory. This was not just about shutting down a gambling ring. One Homeland Security official said, "It was about exposing how organized crime uses communities like Wilder as front lines for international laundering schemes." In the aftermath of the raid, Wilder and Canyon County found themselves at the center of a federal investigation that reached far beyond Idaho's rural landscape. Residents gathered outside the sealed arena gates for hours, searching for detained family members or seeking answers about what had just unfolded inside. Federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations HSI established a temporary command post near the property, where community members were briefed about the situation and reassured that all detentions were conducted for identification, safety, and evidence control. DHS spokespersons emphasized that the containment of attendees during the raid was a standard protocol, critical for securing an active crime scene where firearms, narcotics, and cash transactions were still being processed. "Our first responsibility is public safety," one ICE field commander explained. "When you have hundreds of civilians mixed with suspects at an active illegal gambling event, every individual must be accounted for." Local emergency services and the Canyon County Sheriff's Office provided crowd control and medical assistance for those experiencing stress or dehydration following the raid. Animal welfare officials also confirmed that all horses from the La Catedral property were transported to safe holding facilities for veterinary inspection. Community leaders acknowledged that the raid had shaken the area's sense of security, but many expressed gratitude that the operation exposed what had been hidden in plain sight. For months, locals had noticed large weekend gatherings at the arena, unmarked vans arriving at dawn, and frequent cash exchanges. But few suspected the true scale of the criminal enterprise. Business owners near Wilder described a sudden spike in weekend traffic, unfamiliar faces, and gambling paraphernalia littered along nearby roads. Everyone thought it was just a local racing hobby, one resident said. We didn't realize it was connected to international crime. Federal analysts confirmed that illegal horse racing venues like La Catedral often serve as financial laundromats for narcotics revenue and unregistered labor wages. With large cash-based betting pools and minimal oversight, such arenas create ideal conditions for laundering money tied to smuggling and trafficking operations. Officials believe at least 3 additional sites in the Pacific Northwest may be part of the same gambling network. Those facilities are now under active federal surveillance. Legally, the fallout is only beginning. The 5 defendants remain in federal custody pending preliminary hearings in Boise, where prosecutors are expected to pursue enhanced charges under federal anti-gambling, money laundering, and racketeering statutes. The Department of Justice is also reviewing evidence for potential animal cruelty and tax evasion violations, citing irregularities in ownership records and unreported cash flows exceeding $2 million over the last 2 years. ICE officials have begun coordination with international partners in Mexico and Central America to verify the criminal histories of the foreign nationals detained during the raid. Those found to have ties to organized crime or prior deportation orders will face expedited removal under newly reinstated enforcement protocols. Meanwhile, the Idaho governor's office and state legislators are drafting new laws aimed at strengthening oversight of private racing venues, mandating license checks, and limiting cash-based wagering systems. This case is a wake-up call, Governor Little said. It proves that organized crime doesn't just hide in big cities, it grows wherever people stop looking. For federal officials, the success of the La Catedral takedown represents a blueprint for future multi-agency operations targeting cartel-affiliated enterprises operating inside U.S. communities. The raid, they said, demonstrates the effectiveness of combining federal intelligence with state-level enforcement and rapid response tactics. DHS confirmed that additional warrants are already active and that more arrests are expected in the coming weeks. As one senior FBI official summarized, this was not a one-day bust. It was the first strike in a much larger offensive. The joint FBI-ICE operation reaffirmed a clear message to criminal networks exploiting U.S. soil. Every illegal gambling ring, every laundering hub, and every hidden cartel pipeline will be found and dismantled. In Wilder, the arena that once echoed with cheering crowds now stands empty. A silent reminder that beneath small-town calm, the reach of organized crime is long, but federal resolve is longer.